Allan Aguirre with your Incorruptible 2-minute warning. Got some random thoughts this week. I know I should probably finish the timeline thing one of these days, but hey, in 2 Kings, I believe, let me see, where are we? 2 Kings, chapter 4. Did you know that one of the wives of one of the sons of the prophets came to Elisha? She was a recent widow, and the collectors were coming to take her 2 children to be slaves to pay for her debt. And Elisha had her get as many jars as she could, borrow them from the neighbors, empty the vessels, and get as many as you can. And then go and shut the door behind yourself and your sons and pour into all these vessels. And when one is full, set it aside. So she went from him and she did all this. And then all this, she had all these vessels were full of oil, and she was able to go and sell it and to pay her debts. Elisha, there was a Shunammite woman who really liked Elijah. She was married, and she was married, convinced her husband to let her build an apartment on top of, an apartment on the property for Elisha, so that when he came through town, he would have a place to stay with a bed and a table and a chair and stuff like that. And so she does, and Elisha stays there, and he prophesies as, hey, I want to do a good deed back to you. Prophesies over her that she's going to have a child, and she does end up having a child who ends up dying when he's like 4 or 5 years old. And now Elisha raises him from the dead. Did you know that some of the prophets were making a stew, and they put some poisonous roots in there, and Elisha puts flour in there? My point is this. Just because you might not have raised a little boy from the dead, just because you can't put flour in a pot, doesn't mean that this stuff doesn't happen because it hasn't happened to or with you. This stuff.
The views and opinions expressed during our broadcasts are solely those of the broadcast producers, hosts, and/or guests, etc., and are not necessarily the views or opinions of the Travelog Network, its sponsors, or affiliates.